Hello. Oh my goodness, it's so cold here. I have the day off. I didn't have to take the day off, and knowing my boss, he'll probably pay me for being off today anyway, just because that's how sweet he is. But it wasn't something that we talked about. In fact, when I left work Friday, I had every intention of going in today, but um my husband called me a little bit ago. He goes to work at 7. I don't go to work until 9. And well, ding dong. We had grandkids here all weekend, of course. And one of them hid his car keys from him. So he had to use my car key to his car today to go to work. And we've got an extra house key. So he's got a ring right now that just has a car key and a house key on it. And I found his keys. They were just kind of under his chair. The grandkids got a hold of them. And, well, I guess it could have been the puppy too, but she wouldn't be able to reach him off of something. So if they were already accidentally dropped on the floor or something like that. See, what happened was we went to a wedding and a dance Saturday night. And when we did, I didn't drink a drop because I'm always the driver when we do stuff like that. We took grandkids with us too. So I didn't drink anything. Oh, I take that back. I had a little toast of champagne, but that was like way early in the evening and we ate and everything else. And it was literally just, I don't like champagne really. So I just kind of tasted it. But anyway, so I'm just saying that to just say that I lied when I said I didn't drink a drop because I did. I remembered um, that champagne. But anyway, so we went to that dance Saturday night, and my husband had a couple of beers, so I drove home. We had all the kids with us. My keys were down in the bottom of my purse, so my husband just handed me his keys. Well, when I got home, I just put them on the table. I don't know. My husband usually puts, I guess he keeps them in his, I don't even know what he does. I never see his keys around the house. So whatever he usually does with his keys didn't get done. And so he couldn't find his keys this morning when he went to work. So I gave him my key to his car, and we have an extra house key. And I had full intentions of going to work this morning until my husband called me and said, honey, maybe, excuse me, I'm so sorry. I was drinking some diet peach tea before I came on, and it's kind of making me a little silly, burpy. Anyway, so when I left work on Friday, I had full intentions of going to work again today because we hadn't discussed it being Veterans Day or anything like that. And um, basically, what I do at work is use the mail system, use UPS, and even the company that I order from is closed today. So there's not really much I can do. I mean, I can put orders in and I can run shipping labels all day long, but nothing's going to actually go out until tomorrow. So when my husband called me and told me that it was really slick, and he works out in a little bit of country roads, and I work all the way out in country roads. He told me that he would like it if I didn't go to work today because he wasn't going to be anywhere around to come and get me out of the ditch. My husband works out of town almost every single day, usually not very far. I mean, he'll go 40 miles, out of town, one direction or the other. There's several wells that he works on in all directions. But he told me he was going to be north today. So he said he would not be able to come and get me if I went into a ditch. And so he would just rather have peace of mind. That's probably him right here. Oh, it is. Anyway, he told me he'd rather that I just stay home today if I uh because he knows that I can go get my orders done all day long, but I can't send them anywhere. So my boss told me the same thing. He goes, well, you can come in and get your orders done, get them boxed up and ready to ship, but you can't actually do anything until tomorrow because even the company that we work for or that we order from observes federal holidays. So anyway, no worky for me today. I'm kind of bored right now. It's so cold. I'm just sitting here under my blankie. I'm going to go make me some bulletproof coffee here in a little bit when I start getting kind of hungry. And it's perfect though, because what I'll do today is start doing, okay, here's one thing that I'm going to try to do myself. And if I can't, I can do it enough that my husband can finish it or help me finish it when he gets home. In my dining room, I have a huge dining room. It's very long and narrow, but it's big. I mean, I have a big table in there. It's 8 foot long at least. I've never actually measured it, but I'm sure that my table is at least 8 foot long. Um, and we have just 6 chairs to go with it. Well, my ex-husband is coming for Thanksgiving, and he works as a janitor at our church. That's his second full-time job. He also works at a meat processing plant, and he's been there for over 30 years. That's, of course, his main job where he gets insurance and all that kind of stuff. And that's actually what we came to where we live for, was both of us went to work there. Anyway, so um, because my ex-husband is the janitor for our church, he has access to extra tables and chairs and things like that. And so, and with, of course, permission from the church to use. So when we have Thanksgiving every year, and we usually have it here at my house because I have the biggest house of all of us. Not that my house is so big, but I have I have more room for people. And we usually end up with about 30 for Thanksgiving. But the time it's all said and done, because the way that our family is we just invite strangers too. If we know of somebody who doesn't have family to go to for Thanksgiving, they come to they're invited to our house. Anyway, so we always do Thanksgiving with the exes. My husband's ex-wife probably I think she has to work that day. She was a manager at a retail store that everybody knows about. So, um, she's been invited, and if she doesn't come, it's not because of anything other than she has to work. So we will definitely make her a plate, for the kids to take home to her. Actually, they'll probably get a lot of our leftovers because I don't want a lot of things around after Thanksgiving Day. I've been doing really, really good on my keto diet, like staying true to it. I've been doing really good. Uh, I haven't lost a ton of weight yet, but my body feels so much better. One thing, if you don't know it, but keto is a very good diet for inflammation. And that's what a big part of my problem in my body is inflammation. And so just for that, and most of that I've figured out by the process of elimination. Most of my inflammation comes from white flour. And I love cookies and I love cake and I love lots of stuff that white flour is in, and I just can't have it. I mean, I'm going to eat whatever I want to for Thanksgiving Day. Yeah, I've already decided that by the time Thanksgiving Day comes, I will have been on keto for 3 weeks because I just started it last week. Maybe it'll be 4 weeks by then. Anyway, I just started last week. I've been on today's, actually, no, today is 2 full weeks, I think. Yeah, I've been on it 2 full weeks today. I started it on a Monday 2 weeks ago. I had to think about that. Anyway, I'm over some of the hardest part of the cravings. Where when you first start getting off sugar and stuff, especially sugar, um, oh, it does things to your head. It makes you try to justify all kinds of stuff. It's like an addiction. It really, really is. And you just have to leave it alone, just like an addiction, you know. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to eat whatever I want to on Thanksgiving Day within reason. I'm going to have the mashed potatoes. Now, see, I'm not a big bread person, so it's not really going to bother me not to eat the different breads and stuff. Although I might have a little spoonful of dressing just to see. I'm not making the stuffing this year, somebody else is. So maybe it won't be so good that I miss it. Um, I used to do the whole dinner and then just have other people bring sides, like relish trays and um, vegetable trays and meat and cheese trays and snacky stuff and dessert. But the last couple of years, actually last year, I did end up doing the whole Thanksgiving dinner for another reason. Um, but the last several years, we've just made it like a potluck type of deal where, you know, I make the turkey and mashed potatoes and let's see, what did I say I'm making this year? I'm making 2 turkeys, mashed potatoes. I might make a little bit of sweet potatoes just because I'm world famous for my sweet potatoes. I have a unique recipe that I make that my family members wouldn't wouldn't appreciate it if I didn't make it for them this year. So I'll probably make a little pan, not a big giant pan of sweet potatoes, because I don't want to get left with all this stuff. After Thanksgiving Day's over, I'm not eating again like that until Christmas. And I don't want a whole bunch of leftovers in this house to tempt me. So I'm gonna also go to the Dollar Tree or something like that, and get a bunch of Tupperware, to send stuff home with people. Because I don't want all that extra leftover food in this house, and we'll keep stuff that I can eat, like turkey, and I'll keep some stuff from my husband, but a reasonable amount, not leftovers for a whole week or anything. Because if I have leftovers for a whole week in this house, I will probably, my mind just won't leave me alone until I eat some. It's a horrible thing. Although there right now is chips, popcorn, cookies, ice cream. Uh, my husband's always buying all those little snack cakes and stuff like that. My daughter works at Hostess, and so we can even get those kinds of things free if we want. She can bring home bags of that stuff every day if she wants to. Um, but he has all that, he has snacky stuff. He gets a little snack attack every night before he goes to bed. And he also takes a snack in his lunch. He'll take, a couple sandwiches. And anyway, all that stuff is here in the house now, and I don't even touch it. It's not even tempting to me, most of it. The ice cream bars are, because they're the kind that, oh my goodness, I should have eaten all those up before I started this diet, because it's something that goes in my head. It's like the devil. I'm telling you, it's like Satan talking in my ear. Debbie, go get one of those ice creams. There's a kind that you like. They have that chocolate on the outside, that kind of waxy, ice cream bars. They're vanilla and they're dipped in chocolate. You know what I'm talking about. I love those things. Anyway, they're here. But I just fight with myself. It's kind of a mind game thing too, just to be able to fight with yourself over that kind of stuff. So, somebody say something. I'm just here rattling off and on and off and on and off and on. Nobody's talking to me. I'm talking to myself. Don't make me start doing karaoke on here. Oh yeah, I think we're gonna have a karaoke. We'll probably end up having a karaoke party Thanksgiving night too. Uh-huh. My parents may or may not stay the night. I don't know yet. I kind of want them to, because they're old now. My dad's going to be 76. Yeah, my dad's 75 years old. My mom's 70. She'll be 74 in February. They don't need to be driving home with full bellies after a day of grandchildren. They only live an hour and a half, but still, they should just stay here that night. Now, whether they will or not, I don't know, because they bring their two little dogs with them. They have two little Shih Tzus. One of them is blind and real scary, like everything. He's always been scary, even before he went blind. He's just scared of everything in the world. So, but when they come here, they bring a little sea, a little what do you call it? Spaceship looking contraption. It's kind of a fold up tent type thing, but it's kind of shaped like an octagon. And it's a little tent for the puppies, for the dogs. And they go in that. The other dog is fine. He's very social. He's not scared of anything, nothing. But the blind dog is fine as long as there's not a whole bunch of people around, but everything spooks him. So he'd probably spend most of his time in his little spaceship. But anyway, and then to their because my mom has so many neck and back problems. Other than that, my mom's very, very healthy, but she has neck and back problems a lot. And so she's got to be real careful where she sleeps. And the bed that they sleep on when they're here is just a full size bed, and my dad's 6'3", so you know how that is when you got a tall man and he's not um the bed has a footboard on it too, so he can fit on it and he doesn't complain. My dad never complains. My mom complains for him. Well, what do you want me to do? That's what's in that room. And anyway, so I don't know whether they'll stay the night or not. I think that bed in there's comfortable. I've slept in it. But I'm not 6'3" and I don't have a lot of neck and back pain. So they have a sleep number bed at their house. They have a dual, you know, he can set his side and she can set her side to different um, positions and softness and hardness. Yeah, they can do both with their bed. They can put it as soft or as hard as they want to, and they can put it. I mean, their beds fold up like a pretzel if you want them to on each side. They're different, you know. So who knows? I don't know. But we're going to have Thanksgiving here. Um, oh, what started all this whole conversation is in my dining room because my mother-in-law and sister-in-law was here for 3 months. We made a little sitting room in the alcove part of my dining room for my mother-in-law and sister-in-law while they were here, so that you know they could go in there and watch their own little shows on their own TV, and they didn't have to watch whatever we were watching or vice versa, you know, and they had their own little sitting area that they could go to. And they crochet and stuff, so they'd sit in there and watch their little shows and crochet. And they had a little table next to their chair where, you know, had little doors on it where they could put little snacks and stuff like that. And anyway, so I don't need that sitting area in that room. And so today there's two recliners in there. I'm going to be moving those recliners in the two extra bedrooms instead of one of the recliners. Usually before we put it in that little sitting area that we made for them, used to be in my living room. Well, we're going to have so many people that we're going to have two big long tables in my dining room with chairs, and we'll also have to set up a table in the living room for people to eat, for enough tables for people. So if I put that chair back in the living room, we're not going to have room in here to get around the table. So that's that. And the living room has an alcove too, but that alcove is the kids' toy area. So anyway, that's what I'll probably work on today, is getting that little sitting area taken out of the dining room, and I can push the chairs into the bedrooms that I want them into, I think. I'm sure I can. Anyway, I it wouldn't even cross my mind that I couldn't do it a couple years ago, but these days I don't have the kind of strength that I used to have. So, but I'm pretty determined, so I'll probably figure out a way to make it happen. Just how I am. So, no work, snow day. The roads are real icy and snowy. Um, all the snow melted. We had some snow last week, Thursday and Friday. We got snow last week, and we the roads stayed fine because the roads were so warm and everything. Well, now the roads have had a chance to, get cold underneath even. So yeah, my husband called me this morning and told me that the roads were real slick, and he went in the ditch by his job. And if my husband went in the ditch, something's up, because my husband is a really good expert driver. And he said the city roads are fine, but it's the kind of out in the country where he works is out in the country. Where I work is 8 miles out in the country. 4 miles of that is paved, and 4 miles of it is gravel. But it's way out in the country. And that paved road, excuse me, is very curvy. So because of the combination, because I can't really do anything when I get to work anyway, other than get my physical orders together, which that's not a big deal. I've been in production and shipping for all of my career. So this little stuff that I do at my job is just a perfect job for me at this point in my life, but it's also so simple that I could actually do it with my eyes closed. I'm not even kidding. For me, because I'm used to doing hundreds of times the amount of work that I do right now, you know. So it's not a big deal. I definitely am not going to get behind or anything else missing a day. In fact, I could miss about 3 weeks before it would really be a problem. No, I don't know. We have enough orders that I could stay fairly busy for a while, which didn't used to be, but it's getting. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Um, we didn't used to have. The business has grown in the 2 years I've been here. And by the way, I just had my 2 year anniversary last week, and I got a raise, and I got a big card, and when I say a big card, it's one of these cards where it's a normal size, and then you open it, and then you have to keep opening it until when you're finally done opening and reading the whole thing, it's like poster size. And my boss, the lady handed it to me, and she goes, "I looked for the biggest card I could find." Anyway, they're wonderful people, and I'm so grateful and so proud to work for them. I really, really am. And it's just a God thing. It really, really is, because they came that job came available exactly when I needed it, and it's exactly the kind of job that I needed because of my physical condition, you know, and especially 2 years ago, but it hasn't gotten a whole lot better in those 2 years. I'm just pretty much having to be resigned that I am what I am now. I'm just so used to being so much different. I ran my little legs off for 23 years working at that factory, and my mind was just scrambled when I worked there because I had so many things that I had to do. you know I mean, you know what manufacturing supervisors do. You're responsible for all of the people that work for you and keeping them in parts and keeping the data entry up and making sure you make your standard. And I had, 6 and 7 different lines going all over the plant at all times, you know, and I loved it. I just loved that. I loved what I did, but there's no way I could do that now. I'd be lying to myself if I thought that I could. My brain just doesn't work like it used to. But that's okay. God has a way of smacking us in the face sometimes and making us see reality. And reality is I just cannot do what I used to do. But it's okay. And I got a big old raise. No, I didn't get a big old raise, but you know, they gave me $1 last year for a raise. I've had 3 raises since I've been there. I got $1 within the first 3 months I was there. Yeah, about 3 months after I got there, they gave me $1 raise because the other person that they had hired, because they had 2 people to do the job that I do, and the other person that they had hired to do that quit. And I was like, you really don't need to hire another person. Honestly, you don't. Um, I'm more than capable of doing this. Oh, happy birthday, Tara. I know you're probably not watching. You're probably sleeping. I think you work nights, don't you? Or maybe she doesn't work nights, but anyway, shh. Happy birthday, Tara. Somebody tell Tara I said happy birthday. And I'll tell her later on Facebook. But um so yeah, I got a raise, and then I got a raise from my um but there's lots of benefits besides just the money, and they'd pay me way more money if they could. They really, I know they would. And I mean, I don't make minimum wage or anything like that, but I'm never going to make the kind of money that I made, at that manufacturing plant as a supervisor. But then, you know, I don't work as hard as I did there either, and I don't have to think as much. And that's the main problem. Well, there's no way I can stand on my feet for 8 hours a day. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do that again. There's no way. And I mean, I didn't just work 8 hours a day either. I usually work 10 to 12 hours a day. And So there's no way I could do that. There's just no way. My body is not in the physical condition, nor will it ever be that it was then. So, but I'm kind of excited about Thanksgiving because, well, my mom and dad will be here, and my ex husband and his family. Um, they have a new grandbaby. Oh, that's something I just found out on Friday. So, not like I've been holding this secret for a long time. I just haven't really had the chance to say. But my husband and I are having a new grandbaby too. My stepdaughter's pregnant. Um, it's always a blessing to have a new grandchild. It's always a blessing to have a new child. Um, I'm not going to say a whole lot more about that. Um, but like I said, we're going to have a new grandbaby. And my ex husband just had a new grandbaby. He's a couple months old now. I think he's 3 months, 3 months old. So he'll be here. We'll have a house full of kids. And of course, my ex husband and I, all the rest of the grandkids are his and mine, um, from our kids. But this grandbaby that they just had is from my ex husband's stepdaughter. She's the one that had the baby. And then I have four, well, gonna be four since stepdaughter's pregnant again. We have three grandchildren right now from my stepkids, and all the rest are from my biological kids. Anyway, we'll have a house full. Of course, I'm gonna miss my little grand boy in Colorado and my little DC grandkids. But my husband and I are also talking about after the holidays going to DC. Probably for a weekend and a couple of days. We won't take a whole week of vacation because we're saving. I'm saving my vacation time. He's got vacation time he needs to use anyway. But I'm saving my vacation time, which I just got another week because I had my anniversary. I'm saving it for my husband and I are going to go to Mexico for Christmas next year, not this year. So I'm saving my vacation time until then. And by next year, I'll have 3 weeks of vacation. I only get a week, but that's not that bad because, like I said, anytime, like today, my boss is probably going to pay me. Now, if he would have called me and told me not to come in today, I would have been paid for sure. But since I called and said, that my husband said that the roads were really slick and um, it's Veterans Day, blah, blah, since I called. And of course, my boss was like, well, yeah, you're right. You can't do anything today anyway. So, uh, Well, nobody wants to talk to me, so, and maybe everybody else is snowed in or at work now too. How many people had Veterans Day off, I wonder? That's what I can do. I can call my kids. I know they should be home today. They should be. They don't always get Veterans Day off, believe it or not. They're active military. My daughter has been in the military for um, 17, yeah, 17 years. She enlisted in May of 2001. She enlisted in May of 2001. In September, she enlisted in May of 2001. She went into the military in in June or July. I'll have to ask her about that. Because I remember that she didn't go in the military immediately after she enlisted because she wanted that summer or some of the summer because she went in straight out of high school and she wanted some of the summer before she went in. But anyway, it was 2001, and we all know what happened in 2001. And my daughter was in boot camp or, uh, oh gosh. Well, anyway, she didn't even have a job assignment yet. You know what I mean? She was in her preliminary training when 2001 happened. And so it just terrified me because I already knew when that happened that she was going to get deployed. And she did, but not immediately. She didn't immediately get deployed. It was like a year later or something. My daughter has been so many places. I'll tell you what, I wish my brain worked better so I could tell you all the places that she's been, and she has loved her military career. She really, really loves her military career. Um, she has enjoyed all the places that she's gotten to go. She enjoys her job. She enjoys the money that she makes. Uh, they get, my daughter gets so much time off, she can't even use it all. She gets, I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know. I just know that when I was with her for that year, that there was lots of times that she'd have to take days off because she had so much time accumulated that if she didn't take them off, she was going to lose them. Uh, See, I never have been that way. I know a lot of people are that way. Oh, I've never taken a sick day, and I've never taken, they have to fight me to take my vacation. Girl, not me. I get a vacation day, not a vacation day, but if I have vacation time, I plan trips and I use it, you know. And let's see. I wish I remembered everything. I really do because I used to know like I wish I remembered all the stuff that I used. Like I said, I don't even remember the exact month that my daughter went in the military because my brain just doesn't let me remember that. I know it was the summer of 2001. I know for sure that she enlisted. She signed up in May because she signed up before she even graduated high school. Yeah, she signed up. And I never thought that my daughter would stay gone. I was like, oh, because you know, at the end, she was feeling a little suffocated by us. She wanted to do a lot more stuff. And she was a trustworthy young woman. She was very, very trustworthy, very mature. I mean, when she was 15 years old, I gave her her first job at the place that I worked, which was the manufacturing plant. But we were our own manufacturing plant, and then a bigger manufacturing plant in town bought us and moved us to their facility. But when we were our own little company we just had like two little products. They were the same thing but different versions of two little products that we made. Um, we could hire our own kids. Like most of our workforce was teenage kids because they worked part time, and my boss was awesome. She used to mold the schedule around these kids' schedule so that they all had an opportunity to work. And I mean, it was a genius idea. I mean, lots of other companies have done it, I'm sure, but we had lots of kids. And, we'd get big, giant orders and we'd call in all these kids and we'd just make a party of it. They'd blare the music and be dancing around and packing these products out, and out the door they went. And everybody had a good time doing it. Anyway, so that was my daughter's first job when she was 15. And she worked ever since then. Like she always had a job, even when she went back into when school started up again. She had a little part-time job at the Pizza Hut and stuff. She just always had a job, but she was also very involved in school with sports, and she was a cheerleader. She was on the volleyball team. She was in drama. Uh, she did a lot of plays, and she was just very active, very involved in school. And she had a job, and she was very mature. But anyway, she wanted to do a lot more stuff than we let her do. She like overnight trips with people that we didn't know and stuff like that. We know. I don't know whether that's good or bad. I really don't. But anyway, I feel like, not that she never got to do anything. Trust me, she had a very busy social life. But, there was some things we had to put our foot down, and other parents were more lenient with those kind of things. But she tells us that we were good parents. So, and her dad and I are divorced, but we've always communicated, and we've always most of the time agreed on different things. There was a couple of times that we had disagreements, but it never amounted to, us yelling or screaming or, you know, nothing like that. Hold on a minute here. Okay, that was just some. I've had my phone number for 5 years. This phone number for 5 years, and for 5 years I've been getting the phone calls for this one particular person. It's just weird. Just weird. Well, I'm not talking about any drama, so nobody wants to hang out with me. Oh. Talk to me. Maybe there'll be some drama on Thanksgiving. Maybe somebody will have some drama on Thanksgiving. Now, my stepdaughter and my ex-husband's stepdaughter don't like each other very much. So maybe they'll make some drama. That's funny. Maybe they'll make some drama. They're both silly girls that make bad decisions. So what they get mad at each other about is so stupid because the other one does just as stupid things as the other one. And I love both girls actually. I love my ex-husband's stepdaughter too because we've just always been a close family, we just always have. It's just better for our kids and especially, it's just better for our kids and grandkids. It's just better for them if their parents can get along. You don't have to socialize together. You don't have to do holidays, dinners, and stuff like that together. But after my son died, we talked about it and we just thought, it wasn't terrible because we live in the same town, but what a pain in the butt to have to go to mom's house and then go to dad's house and maybe you're having fun at mom's house and don't want to leave or maybe you're having fun at dad's house and don't want to leave him to come to mom's house and you know if you get along together, why not just do it together and for the grandkids, you know that's what we decided to do, we because that was a that brought our family closer together, when that happened to us, when that went on in our family, and it brought us closer together, you know, and we just decided that we were going to do whatever we could to make it easier for the kids and grandkids, why, and that's just the way we do it. My husband's ex-wife has never remarried. She had a boyfriend for a short time when they first, when my husband and I first met, his ex-wife had a boyfriend for a short time. Um, but I don't know what happened with them. It, she's been on her own ever since. She didn't even live with the guy either. Like it was just a guy that she was dating. I've never had a problem with my husband's ex-wife. She's always been very nice to me. She's never been jealous of sharing her kids with me. Um, I've never had a problem with her ever. And I just don't see any reason why people have to be enemies just because they're divorced. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that have reasons, but we don't. We don't just because we don't want to Now, my husband has reason to not like his ex-wife. She did a lot of stuff to him before I came along. I'm not even going to go into it because it doesn't affect me and he's over it. So I would never want to rehash any of that stuff. But he has reasons, that he, oh, is on reserve, kind of, whatever. Although there's nothing in the world she could do to him or us these days. So, but I mean, what she did to him was pretty awful. So I don't blame him for being a little reserved. Let's just put it that way, because he's not anything other than that. He's a little reserved. Well, I'm all gung ho, let's kumbaya, and he's a little reserved, and um, but still, she's invited to all of the family things because that's just a really awesome thing to be able to do for the kids. And I like her. She's nice. I like my husband's my ex-husband's wife too. Now her and I had some big issues in the beginning, but that's been resolved for years. And I'll tell you, I have my own blame in those issues. So I readily admit that, and I'm ready to. Girls, can you hear my dogs growling at each other? That's because I have an old lady chihuahua who's laying there right in front of the heat vent on her bed. I put her little bed right up to the heat vent because that's where she likes to be in the winter time. Is she making your neck stick, Mama? Does she make your neck stick? She moves her neck because she gets mad at this puppy, and her neck will stick for a minute. But yeah, she's a little old lady that sits over there in her bed right in front of the heater vent. And the puppy comes over there wanting to play. And then, then they get mad. The puppy's just playing, but Tula's not. Tula's like, I mean it, leave me alone. I'm probably going to have to put her in her crate for a little bit so she'll give her a break. But anyway, I don't see any reason why. Now, there are reasons. People have, been really horrible to each other and not been able to get past that, and even later, once they've forgiven them, they still don't want to have anything to do with them. I understand that too, but this is just what works for our family. And for our family, we just want to get along. We actually enjoy each other's company, and we want to make the best of it for the kids, especially. But it's not torture for us to have to do it. It's just not. Last year on Thanksgiving, it kind of got screwed up though because my daughter that lives in DC was supposed to come for Thanksgiving. Her father's birthday is this month, and he was turning 60 last year. And so she was coming, but it was a surprise. Like her dad didn't know. They were doing a surprise birthday party for her dad for his 60th birthday. And so I knew she was coming and I knew she was going to be here for Thanksgiving. And we've went to their house for Thanksgiving before, so I just kind of assumed that we would do that. But since she couldn't talk to her dad about it because her dad wasn't going to, because her dad didn't know that she was coming, we couldn't make plans for Thanksgiving. So what ended up happening is she ended up actually coming to my house for Thanksgiving, but I didn't have time to get it all. I'm a planner. I've already been working this thing out in my head, for a month now, at least. How we were going to do Thanksgiving, where I was going to seat people, blah 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 blah. I didn't have time to do all that last year because I couldn't get a concrete answer. Because anyway, so I ended up doing Thanksgiving here all by myself. When I say all by myself, I mean I cooked the entire meal myself. And these days that's really hard on me. That's standing on my feet for over 8 hours. It's very, very difficult and hard on me to do that. But I did it. I did it. But I didn't I that's not the way I want to do Thanksgiving anymore. I'm too old now. I don't want to do it like that anymore. I'll host it. That's fine with me. I'll host it. But I want to do like a couple of dishes. I'll do the turkey. I'll do the mashed potatoes because mashed potatoes, in my opinion, you have to eat fresh right when they're cooked, or that's when I mean, they're good left over too. But when you're having that Thanksgiving meal, it's got to be fresh, just cooked mashed potatoes, not something somebody's cooked at their house and brought. No, no. Anyway, that's just my opinion. And since I had time to plan for it this year, I know for sure I'm making mashed potatoes and I'm making at least two turkeys. And it'll depend on what size turkeys I get. I may end up having to make three. Because, like I said, we're going to have about 30 people. Now, when I say we're having 30 people, probably 30 people won't all come and sit down together at the same time. It's kind of an open house type of thing. We will have a sit down dinner. We'll have our sit down dinner at 3 o'clock. And the people that are here we're gonna have, like I said, three 8 foot long tables and chairs. So whoever can fit on them. I don't know how many seats that is, but I doubt it's 30. Two, four, yeah, six. No, no, it's not. But like I said, nobody's going to all show up at the same time and sit down for dinner. If they do, we'll work it out. We always have. We've always figured it out. Anyway, so I might make I will make some sweet potatoes too because I have this. If I don't, I'll get in trouble with everybody because of my sweet potatoes being the bomb. They're more like a dessert than a part of your meal. In fact, as left when they're left over, that's how we eat them, is as a dessert. They're just delicious. I can't tell you my recipe because it's that much of a secret. But they're not any kind of sweet potatoes you've ever had before, probably, because I invented them. And they're good. I know my mom and my daughter and my son would just have a fit if I didn't make those sweet potatoes. My husband likes them too. Like I said, as leftovers, he uses them as a dessert. They're fattening, though, my goodness. They've got so much butter and they've got a lot of sugar and they've got some other ingredients, but they're fattening. Everything is. Well, anyway, I've been on this keto for 2 weeks and I've only lost 4.5 pounds. But I'll take it. My body doesn't lose weight very easily anymore. And especially being on this stupid prednisone. Oh gosh. I'll take it. That's 4.5 pounds that I don't have to carry around. But the way that it makes my body feel is so much better. Seriously. The inflammation makes me so stiff and so sore that I should never eat wheat again. I really, really shouldn't. I wish there was some way, they make up. Um, Here's my freaking brain. I can't think of my words. Substitutes. They make up substitutes for everything. I mean, there's instant mashed potatoes. There's, what do you call it? When rehydrated food. There's, this and there's that. Why can't they make uh, a good substitute for flour? Or take all that stupid crap out of the flour. Stop with all the GMOs and the hormones and good night, stop it. And pest insecticides. Yeah, insecticides and oh man, we had a garden, and I know you have to do it on a much, much, much larger scale, and you'd have to have full-time employees to go out and just tend to your garden 24/7, but you know, why not little families, start little homesteads and stuff like that and sell their produce and the produce that you eat is mostly local and I don't know. And I better get off of here. My brain's really not working very well today and I just sound like a blubbering idiot. But I just wanted to open this up and say hey and um, tell you I'm excited for my plans or I'm excited for us to all get together for Thanksgiving. And we'll probably do karaoke Thanksgiving night, I bet. I bet we do. If anybody, I probably won't suggest it myself because I don't want to feel anybody to feel obligated to do it. Well, you said you wanted to, no, I don't want to put anybody, but if anybody else suggests it, and I can name 3 people for sure that probably will, if anybody else suggests it, I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure we can, because we can do karaoke. I don't even have to, like, I have a karaoke thing for the CDs and all that kind of stuff. But I don't. We don't even use that anymore. We haven't used those for a while because now everything's on the internet. You know, a lot of it's here on YouTube, but I have another place that I go and get songs too. So we'll see. I don't do it a lot myself anymore. My voice is not in the best shape. I could do it a lot more often. I didn't do it at all for 3 months when my mother-in-law and sister-in-law were here. Not because I'm shy but because all my karaoke stuff is in the dining room where we had the little sitting room set up for them. I couldn't kick them out and say, well, y'all are going to have to get out of here. So I could scream into a microphone for a while, and then I just kind of got out of the habit of, anyway, I don't know. But if one person suggests, why don't we do karaoke? Then I'll be like all nonchalant about, oh, well, okay, yeah, if you want, well, go ahead and do it. I'm kidding. My family can read me like a book. So, well, sorry I was just rattling. That's all. Y'all have a great day. I might come back later when I think maybe, I don't know where you people are. Some of you are home from work. How dare you spend time with your family instead of listening to me rattle? What's wrong with you people? All right, we'll see you later. Bye bye.